Hey there Nintendo fans, Dark and Avarice here and welcome back to another epic Nintendo video. And guys, tonight's video is going to be on my Game Boy Pocket. I've had this thing for about maybe a month now. A little backstory here, I used to have one of these when I was younger. My best friend at the time, he traded it to me for something. I can't really remember what it was that he traded me. Or I traded him for it. It was a green Game Boy Pocket, and he had a copy of Link's Awakening, obviously Legend of Zelda, Link's Awakening with it, and that's the only game I had for it really. Other than having, I think I may have had Super Mario Land and Tetris if I remember correctly. Obviously this is going back, a good number of years. But I really, really wanted to get one of these things again because, why not? I have a really good handheld collection, as you guys know. And I want to keep adding to that, just different consoles, different variation of consoles. And the Game Boy Pocket, it was always the one that I used to love taking into school. I always took it into fifth period, which was French. I do know some French, but back then my teacher didn't really give a shit, to be honest. And we didn't really learn very much in French. Obviously, you get au revoir, bonjour, je m'appelle, all that sort of, the kind of standard stuff. But I used to just sit and play Link's Awakening, that's like an hour. Just sit and play it in the back of the class. Had a absolute blast, I've never finished Link's Awakening though. That's one of my objectives of this year is to finish Link's Awakening. I was going to get the Switch version, which I have had before, but I want to play on this, So yeah, I've done a video not too long ago, which was on. Give me a sec, guys, just to get it out. Which is on this guy right here, and this is my modded Game Boy Color. So yeah, I do have another Game Boy on the way, which I will be doing a video for it. Next probably next couple of days, maybe a week's time, depending on obviously when it shows up. But I do love my Game Boy Color. I do love my Game Boy Pocket. They're absolutely incredible systems. I mean, look at the size difference. It actually looks like, just right now at a glance, it looks like the Game Boy Pocket screen is absolutely huge compared to the Game Boy Color, but it's not really actually. They're pretty much the same size. So yes, this one here is, yes, this is modded. It's got a brand new shell, it's got new buttons, it's got an IPS screen, it's got a glass lens as well, and it also has a anti-glare screen protector, which yours truly put on. I managed to get this thing on absolutely perfect, no hair, no dust, no nothing caught under it, and that's one thing I hate, I really do. And yep, this is one of the things that I have with it. So I've been meaning to get more flashcards for obviously my Game Boys, but they're not cheap. That's the thing. I actually got this with that, which I mentioned in obviously my sort of video on my Game Boy Color. This thing has every single Game Boy game, every single Game Boy Color game, every translated Japanese whatever game on this. So pretty much get the whole entire library, which is fantastic. And this is compatible with pretty much any Game Boy model, even like Game Boy Advance as well. Game Boy Advance SP, even obviously the original Nintendo No, I don't think the DS played Game Boy games. I can't remember. Throw a comment down below and let me know if I actually did. I can't really remember. I know I played Game Boy Advance games, I know that. So anyway, so this thing I can easily just kind of take this out and swap it over to different consoles, but I do want to get each console their own dedicated flash card. But this will do for now, this will suffice. But yep, so slide this bad boy in. And yeah, I do love this thing. It does look like the DMG style, or the dot matrix. If you didn't know what that meant, DMG, when they mentioned Game Boy, is dot matrix. So this is obviously the same style. You get the black D-pads, you get the burgundy buttons for A and B, you get the black start and select. And this thing just looks so damn cool. And just like this one, the screen is... Oh, that's the only thing though. Because I've got one of these, these TPU cases on, which I have on pretty much all my devices. It just, for me, having bigger hands means that, making a device a bit more bigger, that means it's easy to hold, But this thing is pretty much flush. You can't even see it, so you have to kind of dig your finger in. There we go. And yeah, like I said before, guys, this thing is backlit as well. I'll just turn the brightness down because this is the full brightness, which is completely blown out, which you cannot see. I just recharged my batteries there. So as you can see the LED there is completely full red, whereas in an hour ago it was completely like almost gone. So I had to get them all charged up. So it does take you to this menu, which is the EDGB menu, which even though this is a flash card, this is basically the EverDrive clone, so to speak. But from the videos that I watched before I purchased this one, and obviously I got this flash card with that, a lot of people, especially like I think it's Elliot from the Retro Future, he praised this flashcard as well, and I've not seen any faults with it whatsoever. Every game loads in quick, they load in without issue, and yeah, it's so damn cool. The only thing you can't do with this one here, you can get an on-screen display, which I think this is the version 2 IPS screen, where I think this one may be a version 1. Possibly, I'm not really too sure, but you can get an on-screen display. You can't like center the screen or whatever else, or move them around, which yeah, it kind of does suck, but it is what it is. So yep, let's just fire up a game. So I have been playing Link's Awakening as per mentioned. So just need to press start and then it will come up here. I prefer this one to the Game Boy Color boot up screen. So as you can see all these sort of white lines around the screen. It doesn't obstruct any gameplay. I mean, the way I'm looking at it, I can see a line down the very bottom there, and a little bit of a white line here. Obviously, if I was to hold it like this, I wouldn't see anything, but so for this one, I have shown off how you can change the brightness, whereas in this one, you tap the top right of the screen to change the brightness, which there's 10 levels of brightness in this one. I think this is 5 levels of brightness. The other side, you tap it to do a different colour palette, or you can change it to retro pixel mode, which looks really good. Let's see if I can. It still is quite blown out. But for this one, to change the colour palette, you just keep tapping this one. I think there's like 20 different colours. As you can see, this one kind of emulates the way that it used to look. Obviously, it's hard to tell on camera, but obviously with the naked eye, it looks great. It really does. So yeah, you just tap that. You can also hold, you can tap and hold basically, and it switches to like proper colour palettes, like it's like quick access colour palettes or something like that. Which, let's see, guys. See, that one looks really blown out. Let's see. I'll turn the brightness down in a moment, guys. There we go. So that one, obviously, you can't see it, obviously, on camera. It doesn't look as good, but it does look really good, and from the naked eye, it looks so damn good. Obviously, with these screens, you don't get any ghosting whatsoever, which obviously the original Game Boy was prone to having, just because of obviously the technology they had back then. The only thing is though, with this flash card being obviously inserted into this, if you press the white button at the right side, this one right here, it will, on the Game Boy Color, it would take you back to the menu where you can just select the game again. But in this one, you press it, it will just restart the game, which is fine if you want to reset the game. Let's see if the different colour palettes. There's a black and white one, which I'm always very fond of. I think that's the one. No, it is. It's similar to this one, but it's a lot darker. Let's see if I can find it. Ah, that's the one right there. That's the one I really do like. Yes, I can play this. I've got the DX version, so I can play it in full colour on the Game Boy Color. But you know what? Guys, there's just something magical about playing it on a original, obviously Game Boy, the way it was supposed to be played. But I have that option as well, which is fine. I do have that option to play in colour if I choose to. Choose to. What the hell is that word? Choose to. There we go. I do like this game a lot. It's really fun. You know what? I'm going to go down here and I'm going to get a little shop and see what I can win. I actually won the Yoshi plushie. That one's easy because it doesn't move at all. I have it in my inventory. There he is, just right there. If you can see that right there, little Yoshi. Right, let's see. Trendy game, 1 play 10 RS, which is rupees. Okay, let's see. Right, get the idea. Right, so let's see what we've got here. Oops, sorry guys. We've got a shield, a heart, and 2 rupees. So obviously one of the rupees is going to be probably 1 rupee or 5 rupees or 20 rupees. I don't really know, but let's try this anyway. Okay, so B moves the crane forward, A moves the crane down. Okay, so there we go. Right, I just need to wait until that comes around again. I don't want to grab that heart, so when the heart comes, there we go. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, damn. I thought I was going to get that one there. Oh, well. So like I said, guys, if you press this button right here, it does just reset the game. Turn that brightness. Oh, that's the brightness down to the very lowest. I mean, you can see how bright it is on camera. So obviously you want to just turn it off at the top there and turn it back on, and that's you ready to rock and roll. But yeah, as you can see, this thing is like the DMG style. It does look really, really nice. It really does. I've got music playing there, guys. I was just wondering what track that was there. It's actually Burn by The Cure, which is off of the Crow soundtrack. If you've ever seen the Crow movie with Brandon Lee, absolutely fantastic movie. Quite cheesy, but still really good. Right, so okay, so you go back to this main menu, just pretty much pick any game you like. Obviously, if you get into Game Boy Color, you go into something like this, try and load this up. It will load. Obviously, it will mount, but then you'll get this little, it can't be played on this system. I can't really remember what the sign is. I've applied a anti-glare screen protector on this one as well, as I do. I've actually got anti-glare screen protectors on pretty much everything I've got. Yes, it does take some of the clarity away from the games. Yes, I do know that, but I do love anti-glare stuff. I've actually got a anti-glare glass screen protector, a tempered glass screen protector on my Samsung Galaxy Tab S8 Ultra. Now that was a bugger to actually get on properly. I had to take it off, put it on, take it off, obviously get it lined up, because that's a 14.6-inch tablet, There we go, that's the notification goes up with pretty much every game. The world is not enough till we're 7. This game can only be played on a Game Boy Color. Yeah, already know that, but I just wanted to show you guys, just in case you're wondering what happens if you put that in here, But yeah, this thing is fantastic. I really do love it. I really do. But then again, I do love this one as well. I really do. So it's hard to. The good thing is, I can chop and change. I can put the cartridge in this. I can put the cartridge in that. Whatever else, and I can just chop and change. So the good thing is, though, if I'm charging, obviously everything saves to the cartridge. So it means if I'm charging this, for instance, or the batteries in this, I can just put that in there and continue my game on that. Obviously, I need to load it back in, but I can still continue it. And yeah, I can just do it that way. Like I said, guys, I do have another Game Boy on the way, which I will be doing another video of. I've got a few more sort of projects that my friend's helping me out with as well, so that'll be making up some more videos, and I'm sure that you'll enjoy those ones as well, guys. But yeah, this thing is absolutely beautiful. I paid £100 for this thing, which is really, really good. It didn't come with anything, it just came. This was it, nothing else. No batteries, no cartridge, no nothing. I was trying to actually purchase a Game Boy yesterday, which has been dispatched today, so like I say, guys, in the next couple of days that video will be available, when obviously I get the device to show up. But I did try, I was looking at another one, and it looked like a really, really nice looking, Game Boy, but it had a flash card in it. I actually said to them, "Does the flash card, is it in with the price?" They said no, and I said, "Would you be interested in selling it?" They all want to sell the flash card for like an extra £50, and I was like, no, you're okay. I've seen the EverDrive ones for Game Boy, Chinese ones, for about £30 on eBay. So I'll probably just, when I get paid at the end of the month, I'm going to just buy 2 of them, Obviously, one for this. Obviously, I have one in that, and I'll have one in my new Game Boy. So I mean, £50 is quite a lot for one, when I could buy two for 60. But yeah, I do love this thing. The only thing with this one is the buttons are quite spongy, but I think because this is, if I remember correctly, this is the original case. Obviously, the lens is custom because it's plastic. No plastic, it's glass as well. Plus, it's bigger. It's a lot bigger than the actual screen itself, or the original screen. Because my friend, he does a lot of mods as well. He buys things, fixes them, mods them, reshells them, whatever, to make them brand new, and then sells them. There's some things that I've bought off him in the past that he's done as well. One of the Game Boy Advances that I've got, he actually made that one for me as well, which was really really nice of him. And that's one of his ones. He bought like a broken Game Boy Advance and he fixed whatever it was wrong with it. I think if I remember it was like the battery terminals were all corroded, and he just fixed that up, and he got it really dirt cheap, reshelled it, and then sold it to me. So I get a friend's discount, which is really good. But he does help me with quite a lot of stuff, especially like reshelling and soldering and screen replacements and things like that. He does help me a lot with that. He loves doing things like that. That's his main passion. I always said he should open up a business, maybe open up like I don't know, like a little shop or something like that with repairs and stuff like that, because he's always been really good at things like that. I can repair things, I can fix things to an extent, whereas in things that would seem really easy for him. So anyway, instead of me boasting about my friends, I'm going to just end this video now, guys. So yeah, there you go. You can see the size of that compared to my hands, and that makes my hands look really really fat. You don't think? Looks like I've got a really fat hand and really tiny fingers, and I don't. Yeah, there we go. That's how it looks. But yeah. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments down below, what's your favourite Game Boy game? What kind of Game Boy do you play on? Do you play on a DMG? Do you play on a Game Boy Pocket? Do you play on a Game Boy Light? Then again, a Game Boy Light and a Game Boy Pocket are pretty much the same, just one's obviously lit up and the other one isn't. Do you play on a Game Boy Color? Do you play your Game Boy games on emulators, Game Boy Advance, whatever? Me personally, I do love to play on original hardware. As you can see before you, I've got obviously original Game Boy Pocket, Game Boy Color. I've got another Game Boy in the way. I'm not going to say which model it is. You'll see that in the video, the next video, guys. But I do love to play on original hardware. I don't know about you guys. I mean, I know emulation is cheaper, like free, pretty much. And I do have pretty much, I've got PSP, I've got PS Vita, I've got 3DS, I've got DS as well. I've got Steam Deck, I've got Switch, where I can obviously emulate pretty much anything. I've got a tablet which can emulate anything. But there's always something, something nice for me when you play it on the original hardware. I don't know what it is, but it's just one of those things for me. That's just it. But anyway, guys, that's it for the end of this video. Enough rambling. I do hope you enjoyed this video. So if you did, smash the like button, throw me a double horns. Also subscribe to my channel for more epic Nintendo stuff like this. And sayonara.